Kenobi's corner, Kenobi's corner, Kenobi's corner. You
ready to do this?
Yeah, man, whenever you are.
All right. Hopefully this will be a cough-free episode. I'm really proud of myself.
That's a lie, dude.
I only did it once after tacos, but you got to cough after tacos. That's like cigarettes after sex. It only happens in the movies.
Oh my god.
All right. Welcome to Kenobi's Corner. My name is Eric, and my embarrassingly faced friend over here is Jonathan.
Yep, that's me.
Yep. We're here to talk to you about movies, sci-fi, fantasies, comic books, everything that we find interesting in between. Welcome, friends.
Yes,
Man.
welcome.
It's been a good week, I think.
Yeah?
Except for there was like a 3-hour period where it was just not as good as I thought it was going to be. I think you know
was this last night?
No, the night before. Okay. I think you know what I'm talking about. All right. Well, without context, that seems very weird to start off with. But we're going to talk about a few things this week.
Oh, my God.
We got some new Jurassic World news. We're going to talk about the MCU, things going forward with Sony. We got a few things today, but I think the meat and potatoes of this episode will definitely be the Transformers review. Stick around. That's all I'll say.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, if after that statement you left, I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
Oh, my God. Okay, cool.
Okay. And of course, some Star Wars news. Because you can't start off Kenobi's Corner without a peppering of some Star Wars news.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you haven't heard, you're hearing now. The Han Solo movie, which is yet untitled, has released their directors. So the directors of fame of 21 Jump Street and a couple other projects, but I think that was their latest fanfare, had been released from the movie, and it went night and day. And then Ron Howard picked it up. So now Ron Howard will be has been named as a director to kind of spearhead it forward. So that's kind of crazy, man. What did you think about that? What was going on?
Dude, man, I don't know about this, dude. I like Ron Howard as a person.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's necessarily the person who should be picking this up. I don't know. The other guys, I wasn't really too enthused. From the beginning, Han Solo movie's always been a take it or leave it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm not really a huge fan of Han Solo overall as a character. So if the movie was good, awesome. That's another movie to put in the Star Wars compendium. That's going to be something cool and fun to watch if it's good.
Yeah.
If it's bad, I don't really care. It would be okay. It'd be a throwaway, but yes, for the Star Wars universe would be a throwaway, which would be unique to them because they really haven't had that so far.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really care. It was not a big deal to me one way or the other. And then with the directors, I was like, well, I mean, cool. I like some of the stuff that they've done, but it's not the same kind of stuff that I normally watch all the time. Or, I watched 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
But meh, it was cool. It was funny,
and
I enjoyed it while I watched it.
Right.
But I'm not I need to watch this movie again.
Right, you didn't get it on Blu-ray or special disc release.
Yes, all 5 of them just to have all the collection.
Exactly. Okay. Well,
what do you think?
Based on Ron Howard's past, he's done some space drama, so with Apollo 13. So I can kind of see him jumping right in the reins and doing some science fiction-y stuff with Star Wars. I feel like he can do well. If he sticks to that, not like Ridley Scott, who feels like he should be continuing on. He's done a lot of other things. Ron Howard's touched on the fantasy aspect. He's touched on kind of out there, kind of religious Illuminati movements, the Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code and all that other stuff. I thought the first 2 were pretty good, but the third one kind of tanked. I didn't even finish watching it. I started watching it when it came out, but I don't even think
Which one was the third one?
Inferno.
Okay, but I mean, look. So I pulled up all of Ron Howard stuff.
Right.
So I know you talked about Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons. Angels and Demons was 2009. You said The Dilemma. You'd watched The Dilemma?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Did you see Rush?
No, I didn't. I heard it was really good, but I didn't watch it.
It was not really good. It was okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was okay. The actors really carried that movie. Like, you bought some of the stuff that they were doing, but overall, the movie was okay. I watched it. We didn't even go to the theater to watch it. We just got it on Redbox, and it was worth the price that we paid for it. It was okay. That was in 2013. Then Made in America, which is a documentary. In the Heart of the Sea, 2015. Did you watch that?
Ooh, no, I didn't.
That was horrible.
Oh, no.
We I can't remember what we did. I don't know if me and Brandy watched it on Redbox or if we rented it like a digital rental. I think it might have been that because I was really upset afterwards that we paid more money than Redbox prices because it was really bad. Like, really bad. The movie was horrible. It was poorly paced. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It feels like a lot of it was just stretched out to make a longer movie, but a longer movie that had some more epic shots and, kind of big open scenes to say like, oh, it's a big part of this, there's this big world out there, or I don't know what they were trying to convey with it because it was really broken. Like, it was not good.
Yeah.
And then Inferno, like what you said you didn't even finish watching.
But I mean, he comes from some backdraft. Apollo 13, Ransom. I thought Ransom was really good. A Beautiful Mind was amazing.
Backdraft was in 1991.
Right, I know.
Apollo 13, 1995.
But he also did Willow, man. So he knows about
in 1988.
True, but there were so many there wasn't a whole lot of special effects. Like the special effects in there were all kind of practical special effects. So I can see what he's done with Willow and maybe Cocoon, Splash, which was a mermaid movie. They did a lot of special practical effects with that when they can easily go on to try to make it crazy. Yeah. But I think with that and in his time with that,
but
his movies aren't really. His movies aren't over the top special effects. Yeah. His are up close personal dramas mostly about stuff like Frost Nixon. Okay,
but you didn't watch In the Heart of the Sea.
No, I didn't.
Which was exactly the opposite of what your argument is right now.
Damn it!
And that's one of his more recent.
Was it
things
really
that he's done.
CGI?
Yes.
Damn it!
Horribly.
Damn you, Ron Howard! Why do you make me eat my words?
I mean, if we were talking 1995, 96 Ron Howard, I'd be like, yes, awesome. This is somebody that we need to get on this. But we're not. Dude, the guy's done some stuff recently that has not been good. Ugh. And it's hard, oh man, I don't know. I really just don't know. I think if he continues on the current path that he's on and just makes this to the stuff that he's done recently, it's not going to be good. And I think a lot of times what ends up happening is that, people have this golden age, and I think bands go through the same thing too, right? There's the period that they have that are really amazing, and I don't know why I the hell relate everything to music. I guess it's just because that's the thing I understand the most.
Yeah, music in your bones.
But I mean, you have albums that come out for a band, and hey, maybe 10, 20 years, and every single album is a hit, and then all of a sudden it's this is not good. Foo Fighters, who I love. Have you heard any of their recent stuff?
No.
It's not great.
No.
In my opinion, it's not great. The last two albums they've released, I've been
How dare you? Dave Grohl is a beautiful man.
Dude, he is. And he's an amazing drummer and guitarist and bassist. And how many people can you say that for? And he's an amazing lead man and vocalist.
Yeah.
And dude, the last two things I don't like it. I just, meh.
No.
So they have this golden age.
I've been
don't do it, Eric.
I was so close to okay, there's few bands that I would get a tattoo of that have had great influence on my life.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters was number 2 in my life, and I was so close to getting a tattoo of them. But now that you say that, I don't know if I can.
Thinking about it.
I know. Now I'm oh no, but maybe I still. Yeah, actually, I still will.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
after my next tattoo, of course.
Because there is things that they've done that are really great, right? That are good and solid and stuff that you can continue to listen to. Still to this day, you can watch Willow and enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that everything that Ron Howard does from this point on is going to be great.
That's true.
And I think he's either past his prime or he just doesn't have the same vision that he once had. Or the big other thing that I can think of is maybe he's just been giving too much free reign to do whatever the hell he wants in his movies.
That's true. Well, we don't know.
So,
like maybe it was a money grab. It was just like, hey, you're gonna have Thor. You're gonna have this big ass whale. It's the ocean. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, you have pretty much unlimited money. Don't even worry about it. Just spend as much of it as you can. You know, we'll take care of the rest. You know, who knows? But then there it is. Because who out there would have been like, that's exactly how the whale isn't. You know, I can't believe this fantasy. This is dumb. Like, no one's going to be as upset toward like a Ahab movie. But the Star Wars universe, people will hunt him down if he messes it up, you know? There's more of a love and there's a more of a compassion towards us. Maybe he didn't give two shits like about about the whale in the sea and you know and all of its inner machinations, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but with Star Wars, like he knows, like, and even with that latest interview that he had, like they asked him like, hey, like how do you feel about like taking over? And he was like, you know what, I was directed by George Lucas when he did American Graffiti way back when.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to do this new movie. He's like, it's going to be kind of like a sci-fi movie. You know, what do you think? He's like, oh, well, just, good luck with that. I hope it goes well, So, it's something that he knows that, and he remembers like that interaction from like the 70s and way back when. Like, if he remembers that, then he knows like he has a responsibility towards this universe. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be better, even though that, yes, that's an excellent example of how he, screwed the pooch, but hopefully that's... that's an outlier,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and it depends on like how everything is already set up and set out for him. So I don't know, dude. I really just hope that it's good. Like, really, that's all I can hope for. Because I still, to this day, even after all these changes, even after everything is said and done, I'm still just okay with it. If this was like, if we were talking about a Ben Kenobi movie, like, I'd be, okay, you better do this exactly right, or I'm going to be pissed. In this case, if he does a bad job, or if it's the same as In the Heart of the Sea, or, something like that, I'm like, okay, well, whatever, like, it'll be a throwaway, because, again, not my favorite Star Wars character, and not who...
This kind of thing isn't your bag, baby.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if I'd say it in those words, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, let's move on to a world and a universe that I know you love, regardless of what happens. Jurassic World. So we got a new teaser trailer. Not a teaser trailer, I'm sorry. That would have been amazing. But we got a teaser poster from the next installment of the series. And it's, well, we know shit's happening because it's not as beautiful as the original Jurassic World. Yeah. But it's Jurassic World.
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom. Kind of some embers kind of smoldering.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom, the tagline, life finds a way. That was my best
Ian Malcolm
impression.
Thanks, I like it.
So, dude, I'm excited. Like, I really enjoyed all of them. Even the third one, which was freaking terrible. Yeah. Like, I love them all. I don't know. Maybe because I got a dino boner for these things, just... It's
the best part of that one is the cell phone ringing inside the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah, he's like, Alan. And it's the raptor talking. That's amazing. Oh, yes.
Dude, I will agree with that. It's funny, man. I like Jurassic Park 3. Like you, it's not a very good movie. I will admit to that. That it should not be likable. But that's one of the ones that I think grew on me over time. Like, the first time I watched it, I was like, what the hell was this? Like, this makes no sense. It shouldn't belong in Jurassic Park, like, compendium, world building, anything. And I don't know. I've just grown to like it more and more. And, dude, I love Jurassic World. I think Jurassic World is such a great, fun movie, even with all its terrible flaws, and a lot less flaws than Jurassic Park 3, though. Yeah. But still a ton of flaws, like things that don't make sense all the time, things that could be a hell of a lot better, and they're not. And, dude, this poster already is getting me so excited. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Like, the fact that they're calling it Fallen Kingdom already, like, I don't even care what the hell the movie's about. Like, that's a great title, Fallen Kingdom. Life finds a way. Like, one of the lines that has carried through all the way from the beginning, from the very first movie.
Yeah.
The embers and against, like, the black background, okay, that's a little
Two on the
DCEU.
nose. Oh, okay.
Because that's like all their damn trailers from the beginning have been all with this stupid like falling embers of fire against the gray background.
Yeah. If the dinosaurs fight Darkseid, then I'm gonna be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
It's gonna be all one big world.
Yeah. The Jurassic World site itself is actually pretty legit. With a lot of news and kind of like a little community stuff. So on there, I just put a link to their specific site. Definitely, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are coming back.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Again, like I guess when Lost World came out, like how are they going to spin it for them to come back to the park? Like after. Obviously, and where does Chris Pratt fall into this? Because obviously he lost his job. All of them did. Like I feel like once you are in charge of a theme park or in charge and have all this responsibility where people could die, and then a lot of people do die and get eaten. Yeah. Your assistant was pulled into a large vat of water where she was eaten unceremoniously, and right, and like she was killed pretty horrifically for absolutely doing nothing but trying to watch these kids. Yeah. So
to be fair, she was doing a very poor job of trying to watch these kids. Maybe it was like somebody's revenge on like their real life babysitter. Like they were just like, this is how I feel about how my babysitter watches my kids, and it's like. So they got to realize it in the movie.
Yep.
I don't know. Best guess. That's what I got.
Well, some of the people that are coming back, I'm excited about them too.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum is coming back.
Awesome.
Bringing back the bloom. BD Wong, of course. He played like the
evil doctor.
Evil mad scientist, I feel.
Yeah.
Like because in the first one,
better.
I like the way, like, in the first, like, I still remember the scene in the first one when they introduce him as, like, the scientist, like, that has all the answers, but, like, he's, like, furiously erasing his notes. Like, he made a huge mistake, and he's like, no, this can't be right. All of this is wrong, and he's, like, furiously erasing, and they're like, oh, hey, doctor, and he's like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
So only...
scribbling. Oh, God.
Only have a taste of things to come, I guess. But, yeah, and now James Cromwell, Babe Pig in the City guy of, I think, is it the same guy?
I have no idea who that is.
James Cromwell? You don't remember Babe Pig in the City? Or Babe, the talking pig?
No.
Yeah, that's him. I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of things after Babe, but I'll always remember him as the farmer who owned Babe.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just looked him up, sorry.
Like, that'll do, pig. So looks like good cast coming back. The only one not coming back, which I really wanted to see more of in this universe.
Who's that?
Jake Johnson, man.
Oh, yeah. That would have been cool.
I know.
But I mean, they would.
He had one of the best lines, though.
Which line?
So, cause she was like, "Why don't you be a man once in your life and hit that damn button?" Like toward the end, like when he's opening the T-Rex pit, and he's like, "Why'd you got to make this personal?"
Yeah. Dude, that guy's just funny, man. But I feel like if they would have had to have shoehorned his character in, and they might still, because I think people like that guy. It seems like he's getting more and more popularity.
I think it would be the easiest to shoehorn him back in because he'd be like, because he loved the original park. He would be one that he knew the technology, and to bring him back in and say like, hey, we got to get back into the park. How can we kind of get this in? And he'd be like, oh, guys, thank you so much. Like, I really want to get back there. I just want to see how everybody's doing. And, I could kind of see him being that guy, But I don't know. If you're listening, Jake, do it, man. Just get in there. Just help him. I know, they're not going to take it.
Please. I hope that he's listening, and I hope that he gets back in that movie.
Yes. Moving on, the next part, it's kind of a little bit all over the place, but, come on this magic carpet ride with me, and I'll show you the world. Why does everything go back to Aladdin?
Oh, my God.
But a few things came out this week. Marvel is doing, like, the whole press run for tag teaming it with Sony about Spider-Man Homecoming coming out. They recently interviewed Kevin Feige along with Amy Pascal, who I think is the Kevin Feige equivalent in the Sony end.
I believe so. I think she's just the CEO.
Mm-hmm. And basically, we have a couple stories in here that kind of explain, his relationship with them, and them kind of like breaking it down, how Kevin Feige was able to kind of get Sony to give him the rights to make the movie. And essentially what Kevin Feige was saying in not so many words, well, in these exact words, pretty much, is that he went to Sony, spoke with Amy, and said, "You keep the rights. You keep, the movie rights for everything. We'll make the movie. Just let us bring him back into our universe." So they keep all that, but, letting Marvel take the reins from it, which is a freaking slam dunk idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marvel's doing something that's tried and true. Sony has been screwing the pooch. Well, okay, we don't need to bring bestiality in this.
They will do it eventually on their own.
Yeah. All this man spidering and so they've messed it up, and they were like, yes, absolutely. So they during this interview with them, basically explaining like, yes, absolutely. Things, we met and things have went this way. And one of the interviewers, the guy says, "So do you think that Spider-Man is going to be kind of jumping around with the rest of the MCU, kind of?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, the
rest of not the MCU, the rest of the Spider universe they're making on the Sony side."
So basically saying like, are we going to see Spider-Man jumping around in this and
in the spin-off films?
Yeah, it's in the spin-off films, and she's like, well, they kind of inhabit the same universe, and this is something that we want to see, but they'll be there, and so him popping up could possibly be a thing. And Kevin Feige's face was pretty amazing. it was like something like you could tell, like if you watch the interview, and we link the interview here in the description, like his face is just kind of like, what? Like, what did you just say? Yeah. And then like,
he does like a quick turn, like whoop.
Yeah, and then like you can see like his Adam's apple, like he takes a big gulp. Like, oh shit! Like, was this supposed to be said right now? Like, I thought we were keeping that in our back pocket for at least another year. But who knows? Like, that's what everybody's kind of reading into it right now. Yes, the spin-off movies that are coming up will be in the MCU, in the same universe as Spider-Man and everything else. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of crazy. For the longest time, or at least within the last few months, they've been stating that, Spider-Man's not going to be linked in. But now he is fully linked in.
But I don't know. Like, I mean, who's saying that? Who's saying that it's fully linked in? Like, was that just Pascal or was that Feige as well?
I think it was just Pascal, but Feige was just smiling and nodding. He could have said no, but then again, is it because he's just playing nice? Maybe because is that his, the way of the German interviewer that had him? Was he just kind of just trying to be like, okay, yes, this is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Just no kissing on the mouth.
But it really feels like, man, like it's not supposed to. Like, this is not a thing. Like, this is not anything that Marvel has approved or that is okay. Like, I really feel like it's Pascal
going rogue.
Yes, like not fully knowing what exactly is happening and what all the contracts are and what is okay on the Marvel end. Now, that being said, I believe from the beginning what Marvel had agreed to with the Spider-Man thing is that it was on lease from Sony, so that they would be able to do these movies. And I thought originally it was 2, not 3. So they might have done a deal for a third one, because now it seems like it is going to be a trilogy of Spider-Man movies. Yeah,
well, because he's going to be in Homecoming, he's going to be in Avengers Infinity War 1 and 2, and then he's going to have Homecoming 2 and...
See, but I heard 3. There's like the Homecoming,
so I think
like
your
little mini universe. Yeah. So like the little Homecoming universe is going to have like a full trilogy. Mm-hmm. But I think after that, there's no more obligation, and Sony gets the character full on however they want it. So like if they want to put that character into other movies and use Tom Holland as the actor and build this exact one that they have with the current like MCU backing on it, like they'd be able to do that. Like not necessarily that those new movies or everything done after that would be in the MCU, but that they would have like the history of it still and to be able to work off of.
Yep.
So it's kind of crazy, man. Like, and it looks like they are trying to make, and I mean, with her own words, they're trying to make their own universe of Spider-Man characters, but without Spider-Man, basically. You know, so with the hope of bringing him in. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll get the maybe Marvel will get the okay.
With a V.
Damn, that was terrible. But maybe Marvel will give the okay, and we'll see it there. But I don't know, man. I really have no trust in what Sony can do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them to have that character. My ideal situation is they just say, well, we tried. This is working way better with you guys. What do we say? We just split the profits. They turn into Watu. We split the winning 50-50.
50-50.
But like, I just...
Your mind tricks don't work on me, Jedi.
Like,
dude, I'm on point with the
Watu impersonations. Go for it, man. Keep going. Drop them in. I love it. But I just don't... I don't know. I really don't want them to have anything to do with anything. I mean, we'll see. You're excited about the Venom movie.
Yes.
I'm super skeptical about the Venom movie. Let's see what happens with it, man. And if it's good, then okay, maybe it'll be good. But, you know, maybe there's a reason for them to take the Spider-Man character and bring him back into that universe. But until then, I don't want it. I don't. Like even her talking about this makes me like upset and weary and anxious about it all, because I don't want them to mess up the things that Marvel has started to do with this.
Yeah.
Dude, and they have... Okay, the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, did you like that movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I even like the second one. The second one was really good.
The second one is not really good to me. The second one is okay for me. Like, it's okay. But then you get to 3, and how do you feel about 3?
They just forced too much into it.
Okay. Did you like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie? The Amazing Spider-Man?
I didn't think it was terrible.
Okay, what about part 2?
Yeah, I think part 2 was... I just didn't like... Okay, Jamie Foxx was not a bad villain, but why did he have to, like... Sing?
Yeah.
Like, they made his powers very musical.
Yeah.
And I get it. Jamie Foxx can sing.
Yeah.
Ray was amazing. But we don't need to be reminded of that in everything that he does.
Yeah. Yeah. Or get a different actor.
Yeah.
You know? Like... I don't know, man. I just have no confidence in them. They're great at starting something. Both of the because it really is 2 origin stories, right? You have like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man origin story, then you have the origin story for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But did we need 2 origin stories? Like, did we have to go back there? Do we need a whole nother setup? I can get kind of behind that. Like, I'm okay with that to a certain extent because of what Marvel has set up in the actual comics about there being a Spider-Verse and multiple Spider-Man, and overall the comic universe for Marvel has like a ton of different universes. Like, okay, can get behind some of that, but is it entertaining to watch every time? Not to me, man. Not always. Like, I don't need to be seeing it all the time. I don't like the stories that come out of it. The first one is usually pretty good, and then they just kind of go like straight downhill from there. Like, there's no like, you know, nice little downgrade or like a slow drop off. It's like a cliff, dude. Like, you get to the edge of it and boom, like it's all the way down. Yeah. And man, I don't know. I really just, I just want to watch Homecoming already to see how it is, and like go straight to Venom. Like, I want to.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because we're going to go straight to Venom now.
Okay, go straight to Venom.
Yes. The reason why is because they confirmed the villain for Venom. And it's going to be Cletus Cassidy, freaking Carnage, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so freaking exciting. And the reason why is, and because this kind of like goes into some of the things that they've been kind of toying with, that Venom may be an R-rated movie as well. But you could only do an R-rated movie of Venom if you could only do Cletus Cassidy and Carnage if Venom was an R-rated movie, because Cletus Cassidy is a straight-up murderer, man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God, that's freaking amazing. Like, the fact that they may possibly be doing him right, and then also doing Venom right, and then having, like, that direct, like, link with other symbiotic, characters.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that is freaking crazy. Like, I didn't think that they would bring out like Carnage so soon, but that kind of scares me too, because they did the same thing with Superman when they brought out Doomsday. Like, in his sophomore effort, just coming right out of the gate. So I don't know. I'm not putting Carnage on the same level as Doomsday. I'm just saying like it's just crazy that such like a large character would be like also introduced so quickly. Like I'm excited about it though. I hope that does well.
And you see, and that's the thing is that like, and this is why it's always so touchy to me, and why it's always like, damn it, like they need to do this and they need to do it right, because Carnage is a really great character. If you're a fan of the comics, like if you've read it, if you've looked into it, if you've had any kind of interaction with that part of it, then yes, Carnage, and you're excited about what you can do with Carnage on the screen because you know who Carnage has been in the comics and in other mediums, but he's never been done in the movies. So how do you get it? How do you transition? How do you make it something that's viable and good on the screen?
Well, okay, so I thought about that. And it's kind of like the same thing for any of these other comic book movies. When you're coming into like an intro story, and I feel like that's what it has to be. It's not going to be Venom's been Venom for years and years and years, and this is something that's coming along. It would have to be the same thing like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's initial outing, which was introduction to him, getting his powers, getting used to them, coming along and fighting a villain like Green Goblin right out of the gate. So he finds his powers, gets into his hold, and then boom, they have their battle, right? So it would be the same thing with Venom, except you're introducing a whole new alien element where somebody that's good receives the Venom, receives the symbiote, and then somebody that's bad that receives with Carnage. So they both receive it, both totally different interactions with it, both trying to find their powers with it. Same thing with the Hulk, Incredible Hulk. Hulk gets his powers. Well, Hulk's been Hulk for a while, but then Abomination gets it as well, and so they go at it in Harlem. Kind of same thing. So I think it is a wild notion to kind of bring like the alien element into it, but it's not so far off from the mutant powers to being bit by a radioactive spider or getting a whole bunch of gamma radiation. I think it can do well.
But that's not my problem with it. Like, I understand. Okay, so like you're bringing in a bunch of different elements. That's totally fine. Like, I don't see a problem with them, like doing that part of it. I don't see an issue with that. My issue is with who this character is gonna be on screen, like getting that part of it right. Because the only ones that I think have gotten it right overall is the movies that have been done under the Marvel Studios heading, and that has a lot to do with Kevin Feige himself. Like having somebody there who knows the content and knows the background of what everything is.
Man, I wonder if they're producing or if they're like even involved in any way.
It doesn't look like it, man.
It doesn't, man.
I think it's just Sony. And look at what Sony's done. Like off the backing of Spider-Man with like Tobey Maguire was probably the better one. As much as I like Andrew Garfield, as much as I like Andrew Garfield as an actor, like he did a good job with the Spider-Man character, but only because of who he is. That was not the original Peter Parker that we saw in the comics. It's not true to the character of who he was. And that's Sony having complete free reign with that character because they had the rights to the character and they did everything completely on their own without anything having to do with the Marvel MCU or Kevin Feige or anybody else. Completely independent. And that's the Peter Parker we got. So I have no confidence in them to bring Venom to life the right way or to bring Carnage to life in the right way. For it to feel and have the spirit of the voice of the character. You know what I mean? Like to really be the character in the comics personified in a live action role. I just don't have any confidence in them to do it because they have not shown that at all. And the ability to be able to do that at all. And I don't know, man. Like, I really... it just worries me. As much as I would like to see Carnage, and I think it'd be cool to see Carnage, I just don't think they're going to do it right.
Well, I think it's good for us to go in with low expectations, like super low. And then I think hopefully our minds will be blown.
Like we've said it before. We've said it we've said it hundreds of times in this podcast, I'm sure. But prove us wrong. Really prove. I want you to prove me wrong, Sony. Make me eat my damn words. I don't want to be right about this. I want to see a good movie. I'm not rooting for Sony to be bad or for Sony to fail, but they've done very little to show me that they can do something right. And I would love to be proven wrong. Just prove me wrong, Sony.
Do
I'm
it.
asking you. I'm begging you on this podcast, please.
Please. If Sony, if anybody there's listening, please prove John wrong.
It needs to be done.
Yeah. I hope somebody's like not sleeping at night thinking like, God, I got to prove that guy wrong. Damn it. The damn podcast is keeping me up so late.
Maybe Pascal herself is like, we gotta shut them up right now.
Shut those Mexicans up so fast.
What, you gotta make this personal?
Damn it, I said I wasn't going to cough. Oh man. Well, let's talk about something else that's going to make you furious. Fox is now stating that they are going to take another shot at the first family of Marvel, meaning they're going to try another attempt at Fantastic Four. And John is like, I can see him getting red in the face, shaking his head, biting his lip at this story. I didn't add it from Go because I really wanted to see your reaction.
Get it live.
Yeah, get it
live on tape.
Yeah, put it down on wax. That's an industry term.
Oh my God.
But it looks like they're going to try it from a different perspective. The family from a young start. So I don't know if this is going to be aimed more to be a kids movie but it's going to be Young 4 or Young Fantastic Four. There isn't a name for it yet, but they're working with Seth Grahame-Smith, who's more notably known for doing the movies of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So a take on historical, I guess, historical background, a different take on them, introducing the fantastical and in disbelief vampires and zombies. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe more of a fun ride than the previous ones, not so dark or ominous tones, but maybe not as light as the original Fantastic Four. You know what? The original Fantastic Four, I really, really enjoyed. The only thing, and I love me some Jessica Alba, but I really believe that they should have chosen a different Invisible Woman.
Yeah, they should have.
Sue Storm should have been somebody else.
Yeah.
At least somebody in that race, at least, I understand you want to go a multi-ethnic cast, but you don't got to turn her white,
Yeah. I think that was the problem with it, is like, it wasn't that Jessica Alba was playing just a different version of Sue Storm. It was like that she was playing a white Sue Storm, and it was like, this does not work.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Oh my God. Man.
Yeah. So,
look, this is the history of Fantastic Four with Fox. What? Why are? Oh my God! Just give the property back.
Yeah.
Just give it back.
Because if they don't try to make anything with it, of course they have to relinquish the rights to it. So I think this is just them making another run at trying to keep the rights for it. So we'll see what happens. But that's the rumor right now. I don't think it hasn't been totally fleshed out yet. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll just be a kids movie. I don't know if this is supposed to be live action, but we'll see. Nope, you're not liking it.
Dude, this is bad. I don't know, man.
Okay. I just wanted to put it out there in the universe, just so you know it's out there. It's brewing somewhere out there. There's somebody sitting on their couch trying to write this movie.
Yeah.
So there.
Look, and I mean, we're linking over to the article from Bleeding Cool, so you can read it there in your own words. But I mean, the fact that they end this with the thought of everything being so bad about the Fantastic Four movies that Marvel themselves has started taking them out of the comic book universe. Like, and that is very true. There's no like, oh, okay, well, that's okay, but I mean, they've stopped everything with Fantastic Four. Like, you don't see Fantastic Four anywhere now. Mm-hmm. The last Secret Wars event had a lot of Fantastic Four heavy stuff, but that was kind of like their last hurrah, swan song kind of a thing, where it just went completely off, and that was it. It was over. They were gone. So I don't know. This is one they just need to give it back. This is worse than Sony stuff. Anything that Fox does is 10 times worse than what Sony does. And we all know the feelings that I have against Sony because I just spoke out for like 20 minutes ranting about it. But this is terrible. Terrible.
Sorry, John.
It's okay.
All right. Well, then,
it's not my place.
Let's move to something less terrible.
Less terrible.
We saw Transformers.
The last night. 2
nights ago. And I was opposed to seeing it. I didn't feel like there was anything left in the universe that I needed to see from Transformers. But upon your recommendation, I guess it should be
recommendation.
We should see it, just so that we can, just see if they lived up to expectations, and they wholeheartedly did. I thought it was going to be terrible, and it was.
So at least they didn't disappoint.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint.
Instead of meeting your expectations.
Yeah, so, I think that's from Go. That's kind of like the review before the explanation. But basically, let's do a non-spoiler review and then do a spoiler review, or do you just want to go full spoilers from Go?
We can go full spoilers from Go.
Okay, right on.
Okay, because I mean, if you don't care about Transformers, or just keep listening. There's no point if you're not going to watch this movie, because we can't spoil too much. Like, I don't think
it really, like, there's nothing in this movie that you haven't seen before. Like, there's
so much that was given away in the trailer too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
one thing that they didn't do, which was cool that they didn't do, was bring back the little like the crazy cube. What is it? Transformers, the ones that kind of like just float in the air and just materialize out of their own material, like out of their own little blocks and stuff.
Oh, I don't even know.
Remember, did you see the one with the dinosaurs in it?
I'm sure I did. That's the one I think I liked the least.
And they made Ultra Megatron or Galvatron or whatever.
Oh.
And Stanley Tucci was in it.
Yeah.
Being very Stanley Tucci.
I think so. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, and they were just like floating, like us, like humans created like was able to get the Transformers technology so we can create guns and random stuff. Any object that we tell it to, we program it or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just dumb. This even goes a step further, I feel. It's definitely over-the-top action.
Yes.
Stuff in Transformers movies that you're kind of used to seeing. But, man, it was just too damn long.
Dude, okay, yes.
It could have ended like 45 minutes earlier for me, and I would have been just fine. I don't see why Anthony Hopkins was in this. Like, he could have had a short cameo for like 5 minutes to give exposition on why the Transformers were there. But again, like every single movie told you why Transformers came to Earth. And every time it seemed like that was the reason why.
Yeah.
And then they solved it at the end. But here we are, another reason why. And it feels like this should have been the reason from one why they brought it. Like, why they always came to Earth looking for Merlin's staff or whatever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Like, it felt like, one, like, the Transformers, like, it kind of rewrote itself because Transformers from one, the Transformers weren't here on Earth already. Like, they came from outer space. That's the whole part of one was them coming to Earth.
Yeah.
But the way that made it seem like is, like, they were already here. Like, they've been here for a long time on a crash thing. So... make up your mind, Michael Bay.
Yeah. I think that to me is probably my biggest problem with it. Okay, so all the points you said are probably some of my biggest problems with it. Yeah. Like, one is the fact that, dude, the story, again, like exactly what you're saying, man. Like, they just can't make up their mind of what they're doing. Like, they rewrite their own history over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, well, what the hell's the point? Like, I don't see the point of that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, like, why you keep going that same direction. Like, do something else. Like, make something a little different. Dude, the other part, yeah, exactly right, man. Like, it's so damn long. It's so long. And I think Anthony Hopkins' character, along with the little girl, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But they just seem like vehicles to help propel the plot forward. But there's so little plot anyway that you should just left them out. You should just left it completely out. Don't put any of that in there, and then just take the little plot that you have and expose it as you're going through, like, a lot of the progression of everything.
Yeah.
Dude, and oh my God, like, it is visually stunning because there's so much going on all the time. Like, and it's pretty much, there's a lot of the time. I know there's been some complaints of, there being too much talking or going through too much exposition and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree there's a lot of it, but even then there's still a lot of action that happens around it. There's a lot of action sequences, a ton of them. If you were to take out those other pieces of exposition, the story wouldn't make any sense at all. But I feel they could have done it in a different way where through the action sequences, you can give some of that story, like little pieces, enough of what it is there and a little bit of story that there is there, and bring it out in a way better way. Yeah. But yeah, dude, easily 45 minutes shorter is what it should have been.
Yeah.
I would love to see a supercut of like this movie down to like thing, because I think then it would be semi-enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like still not great and still not a good movie by good movie standards, but at 45 minutes shorter, I think it'd be a watchable movie. I'm gonna
Even then.
I'm gonna say something that I know not a whole lot of people are gonna agree with, including yourself. But this, it's a watchable movie. This is
What?
watchable.
Okay.
But not
no.
in the theater. Go pay like between $10 and $15 for a ticket to go watch this in a movie theater.
Like if you're sitting in the back row of a drive-in and it just happens to be the second movie that the next theater is playing and you get to see it from like the side of your eye. No,
that's horrible. Because the whole point, like the fun of this movie was a little bit of like the seeing it on a huge screen with all these huge action sequences going on.
I'm really glad you said that. And the reason why is because there's so many scenes. The transition from scene to scene is terrible.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but it went from widescreen to full screen.
Yes.
So many freaking times.
That was like that.
It was super distracting.
My God. Yes,
like,
super distracting. And like, but it's almost like it told the story of like why this movie is so bad. It really feels like they're like just pieces pieced together, mashed in however you can put it. It's like a little kid trying to play with a Lego set.
Yep.
And
square peg in a round hole. That's
yes,
what it exactly is.
Exactly. They're just like grabbing pieces from everywhere and just like forcing them together and making something that, sure, it's going to be something at the end, but it's not coherent. It's not great. It's not structured. It's nothing. It's just something to put out there. Yeah. And dude, oh my God, like that was, and I didn't notice it right away. And then Sean pointed it out to me. Mm-hmm. He's like, dude, why is the aspect ratio changing so much? And I was like, oh my God, like that's all for the rest of the movie. That's all I could notice is the damn, like every scene, dude. And it was like, and you know how Michael Bay does his cuts sometimes. We all know the Michael Bay cuts. It's like long panning, like shot of something, like slow panning
American
camera for some stupid reason of anything, dude. Of like any girl that he thinks is slightly attractive, it seems like, slow pan, and then you go into like 5 cuts that are each like a second long. And each one of those cuts was a different freaking aspect ratio. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Dude,
what
I know.
the F?
During one of the, not even the final boss battle, or it was like when they were fighting on that platform or whatever.
Yeah.
Between Prime and Bumblebee. Like that's when it was like cutting the most, I feel. It was really, really bad.
The one where Anthony Hopkins, I think, is first.
The chase scene?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, the chase scene was the one that I noticed at the absolute most, because like it was literally like shot, and the shot holds for like a second and a half, and then like boom, aspect ratio changes, and then like that's another shot for like another 2 seconds, and then boom, it changes again, and it's like a shot for 5 seconds, and then boom, it changes. I'm like, dude, what the freak, man? Like, how do you not realize this is going on when you're cutting the movie?
And it feels like they had maybe like a quarter mile of I know, John, you love living your life a quarter mile at a time because you love the Fast and the Furious movies.
Quarter mile at a time.
Yeah. But it seems like they only had a quarter mile around London because they passed Big Ben like 13 times in the span of like a 5-minute like chase scene. I was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. They're always going toward or away, and it's always in the scene. I was like, what the hell? They were like half a block away, like each shot of it. I was like, what the hell is happening? Or do they have like 5 Big
edited
Bens?
It out, like...
Yeah. How many Big Bens are in London? I guess it really is big. Or is it so big that it's everywhere? It doesn't matter where you're sitting,
Oh my God.
And there was one scene. Okay, there was one scene where they're all talking in a room, and for some reason they decided to have everybody with different accents in this one room. They had the girl, main lead. I don't even know what her name is. Whatever, Transformer girl.
Which one?
The one with the lips. The older girl, the younger girl.
After you said the one with the lips, I was hoping that's where you were going.
Yeah.
Whew, okay.
She had
the professor.
Lips. The professor had huge lips.
Okay.
Can't remember her name.
I don't know her name.
They had her. They had Anthony Hopkins. They had Mark Wahlberg. They had and then the French Transformer. So French Transformer. Mark Wahlberg with a really thick Boston accent. I feel like he was laying it on really thick during that scene. Anthony Hopkins with an English accent, and the other girl with her or like a Scottish accent, and then the other girl with an English accent also.
Okay, yes.
So they had everybody with like 6 different nationalities trying to talk with like huge, heavy accents in this one scene. I was like, really? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here? But it was... I feel like there were so many aspects and points that were supposed to be funny, like, and they try to lay it on really thick. I think there was only one time that I really actually laughed in that whole thing.
Really?
And it was like the dumbest part. Like, I just felt like it was so over the top dumb, like I had to laugh. And it's like when they're given the backstory of like the Transformers, like how they've always been there throughout time, and the music is building really big.
Oh yeah,
and like the other Transformers, like Anthony Hopkins,
organ
he's
playing.
playing the organ.
Yeah,
and he's like, I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Like he was just like, cut it out. He's like, oh, I was just adding to your story.
You need to tell people the joke. Like, so like the organ music is building like as he's telling the story, like, you know, it sounds like it's epic soundtrack time, and then it's actually just the Transformer that's guarding Anthony Hopkins, or like helping Anthony Hopkins, and it's just playing the organ in the background, like that was, or then like immediately after that it goes into this like epic organ and choir kind of thing, and then it's just him again.
Just him like singing this very operatic, you know, part.
Oh my god!
I thought that was the funniest part.
It was pretty funny.
But other than that, I was just like, oh man, just
dude. There really wasn't a whole lot to save this movie. Like it really. It really wasn't great.
They rewrote over the first Transformers and like the history of it.
Yeah.
But then they also showed Shia LaBeouf. And I was like, how are you gonna rewrite it but then also reference it at the same time? I don't understand where this movie's
it didn't
going.
feel like a full rewrite though. It felt like that stuff actually happened. They referenced that a lot through the movie, that this stuff actually happened, that it was part of it. Like part of the movie they also mentioned that the original, or that when they first encountered the Autobots for the Allspark, like when the Allspark was here, that it was all done in hiding, and then they went into hiding and it was kept secret and wrapped up by the government. And then it was the acknowledgement of then the Transformers coming to Earth. So they like give the whole freaking backstory of everything, and then they just throw it all away because apparently none of that mattered. None of it was actually real, because this is now all the real stuff of why everything is happening. So I don't know, man. Like it's so disjointed. It really felt like a last hurrah for Michael Bay doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I felt like this is all the things that I wanted to do in the movie and show if this is the last Transformers that I'm going to do. So here it is, everybody. Everything.
Bam. All at once. So yeah, apparently one of his goals was to make a really bad story, because that's exactly what this was.
There you go.
But it was to have like a crap ton of action sequences and really fancy cars. I guess like if you are a Transformer and have the ability to change into anything you want to, you're going to go for the nicest car you can find.
Yeah.
Or at least you'd think that that's what would happen from the beginning, but apparently that wasn't the case all the time. And dude, it really, oh my God. At the end of the day, I know I'm probably the only person in the group of us that went to go watch this that was okay with having watched the movie and paid the money that I paid for it. Like, I was okay with it. But I've watched the other ones. I've been invested into the thing. It wasn't horrible for me. It wasn't one of the ones that I was like, okay, this is dumb. I'm walking out. Like, even then, it's one of those ones that's bad enough in the right way that you can just sit there and kind of laugh at it. You know, there was so many parts that were like supposed to be serious and are supposed to be kind of carrying the story along or legitimate, and I was laughing.
Yeah.
Like I was like audibly laughing because it was just dumb. It was really dumb. So entertainment value for that specific purpose.
Yeah.
I felt like, my money's worth.
Yeah.
You know, would I recommend anybody go see this that isn't into that kind of stuff? No, don't go watch this movie. Like, there's no reason anybody should be going to watch this movie unless you're like super, super into it. You love Michael Bay. Anything he does is absolute gold. It doesn't matter what it is or how bad it is. Then go watch it. I mean, you might enjoy this, but it's really, for most people, for most of the population that's not myself and certain other like types of personalities, you're not going to enjoy this. It's not going to be good.
Nope.
You're going to regret spending your money on it.
For sure.
I think if you're a fan of sci-fi and action, it might be something you might want to Redbox later on once it comes out there, which might not be too long if this doesn't do very well in theaters, but it's it's passable, man. It's one of the ones you can just skip if you really want to, and if this is not your
No, I thought
bag
you were
of
saying like
chips.
it's passable as a movie.
No,
not at all.
You see, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's passable as a movie.
Oh.
But it's not good.
No, I'm
For you,
saying
you're
you can,
like- you're-
you can pass it.
Yes,
You can
yeah.
just pass it on up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
Like it's one you can skip.
Yeah.
I know for you,
Okay.
you might mean that it's not even a movie. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it might end for you. Like it's
It's like watching a
it's video. is
yeah,
what it
watching
is,
a
dude.
13-year-old's dream. That's pretty much what it is. If you want to see a 13-year-old boy's dream, this is what go see
It's
this.
exactly what's happening. That might be the most accurate description for this thing.
All right, man. Well, I think that should do it for this week, man. What do we got coming up? We got Homecoming coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, Homecoming coming up in a couple weeks.
Castlevania coming out on Netflix in a couple weeks. We got Game of Thrones coming out in a few
Dude,
weeks. Man,
I'm so excited about Game of Thrones.
man, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
So excited about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Within this next week, I don't think we got a whole lot going on.
No. This next week, there's not really anything that we would talk about on this podcast unless we talk about Baby Driver, which I think comes out this coming week.
Ooh, that'd be a good one too.
It'd be a good one to watch, but I don't know if it's in our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Even though we did talk about Foo Fighters for like 15 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe
I
more
mean,
like 5 minutes. But
That's not bad though.
That's
That's
definitely
just,
not in our
That's
wheelhouse.
just a good conversation.
I mean,
Right on, man. Well, until next time, sir. We'll figure out what we're doing for next week. But until then, sir, where can they find us?
they can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all as Kenobi's Corner. We're just user at Kenobi's Corner. Check us out. Come have a conversation with us. We'd love to have that with you. You can also have a conversation with us on our SoundCloud page. You can find that at kenobiscorner.rocks. Get you right over there. We have a comment section in each episode, so you can drop a comment about a specific episode. You can drop a comment about any episode that you want to in any episode that we want to. We'd love to find that comment and have a conversation with you. You guys want to have that with us. You can even tell us how you actually feel about Transformers the last night, and we'd love to talk to you about that. You can also find us on iTunes and Google Play stores. Just look at the podcast section, search Kenobi's Corner, and you should be able to find us right away. If there is a podcasting platform that you normally listen on and we are not on that platform, please let us know and we'll do our best to get on that platform as well.
Right on. Well, until then, please enjoy yourselves and each other.